Okay, everybody, what's up? This is Zen Viking, and a lot of this material is going to be shared with people that I might associate with, people at my job most notably, but people at the church I attended when I was a kid, and frequent from time to time now, and whoever else. But long story short, there's going to be a lot of people watching this who don't know anything about Buddhism, whether they be Christians or atheists, or whatever else, agnostics, just not caring, whatever. But a lot of people are interested in the pilgrimage but don't know anything about Buddhism and have been asking me a lot of questions. So I figured I would make a video to talk a little bit about what Buddhism is all about. The most notable thing to pay attention to with Buddhism, now keeping in mind, there are several different lineages and schools of Buddhism, and some of them are drastically different than the others. But what I'm going to tell you is just kind of some plain Jane, run-of-the-mill Buddhist stuff. I have training in Zen, Tibetan, and have done some reading in Theravadan Buddhism. And so those are the traditions that I'll be speaking from mostly. But one thing to note is that Zen is a non-theistic religion. What does that mean? It means that what the Buddha taught was not about God. That is not to say that the Buddha spoke against God. Quite literally, it says in one of his suttas, a teacher went to him and asked him about the afterlife and about gods, and he quite literally said, "That's not what I teach. Go talk to the Brahmin over there." So he very specifically does not address it in certain teachings. Now there's other teachings where it kind of gets spoken of, but a lot of that is kind of muddled in folklore and things like that. But the thing of it is, in this day, here, in this practice now, a belief or non-belief in God is not the subject of what we practice. That being said, Buddhism is a very open religion. We really don't care if you're part of another religion. There's lots and lots of quite a few Zen masters who are Catholic monks or Catholic priests. So we have Christian Buddhists, atheist Buddhists, agnostic Buddhists, pagan Buddhists. It really runs the gamut because Buddhism is not focused on the afterlife, though Tibetan Buddhism can be. But Zen and Theravadan, especially modern day Zen, is not so much concerned about the afterlife and much more concerned about this life. And so what do we care about? We care about suffering. We want to end suffering, and we want everyone to be happy. A lot of Buddhist practitioners just basically think that anything bad that ever happens basically came from somebody being unhappy. And if we can make ourselves happy and make each other happy, then that's a good thing. Sometimes the way we go about that can seem very strange to outsiders, and that's okay. We're okay with that. But we'll be glad to explain it to you if you ask us. Unlike some of the stereotypes that religious people get, Buddhist people are very intelligent, they're very inquisitive, and they want to know what's going on. They ask a lot of questions. We don't mind if you ask questions to us. In fact, a lot of us are kind of sitting around waiting for you to ask us questions, because we don't want to force our ideas on you. Just like we don't want you to force your ideas on us. We want to share. So we wait until you guys ask us a question, and then we say something. And most Buddhist practitioners are usually pretty excited to talk about their practice because it's something that they really hold dear and something that they really appreciate. So, a little bit back to practice. You notice that I say the word practice a lot. And I don't talk as much about belief because we stress practice more than belief. And our practice is meditation. Now, I'm not going to get into meditation. I'm not going to get into how to do it. I've done that in other videos. Maybe I'll do it in other videos still, but I'm not going to do it in this one. Needless to say, we think that meditation makes people more aware more centered and whole with themselves, more able to cope with their lives, their feelings, and their reality, and thus alleviate suffering. Not every Buddhist practitioner is a fantastic meditator. Hi. But we try, and that's what it's all about, is you try. And effort is what's respected. So, one of the most basic teachings that all schools have in common is what's called the Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth, and this was said might actually be the first thing that came out of the Buddhist mouth, maybe. I'm not a great scholar, so I don't know, but it might be the first thing that came out of his mouth after his enlightenment, when he first started teaching. And the teaching of the Four Noble Truths is first, that there is suffering in our lives. That in our lives we are going to experience suffering, and that is a constant. That is the way it's going to be. You will experience suffering. So trying to pretend and fake like you're not is lying to yourself. But there's an end to suffering. Though to think that you can end suffering is not necessarily where it's at. Now, keeping in mind, I am not a Buddhist teacher. I am not the whiz-bang at this stuff, so I'm just kind of fumbling my way through it here. So I'm just sharing a little bit so you got a little bit of orientation when I'm talking about stuff. So how is there an end to suffering, but suffering is constant? Well, there's kind of two layers of things, if you think about it. The metaphor I like to use is stubbing your toe. When a little kid stubs their toe, it is just, they are filled with pain, and they are just agonized by it. And they have no idea when it's going to end, and they have no idea what's going on, and so they panic. Their mind goes into chaos and worry and frustration, and they cry, and they flip out, and they lose it. Over time, you stub your toe enough times, you stub your toe as an adult, and it hurts, and it sucks, and you curse at yourself for stubbing your toe, but you know it's going to be gone pretty soon, so you don't cry. And it turns out that the pain you experience is much shorter than the anguish that you created for yourself as a child. And this inner anguish is really the source of our suffering. We will experience pain, we will experience loss, all those sorts of things, but there's an added layer of fantasizing and storytelling that creates a story of panic, anguish, suffering, and just torment that we create for ourselves and put ourselves through. And that's what we want to end with our meditation. So that leads us to the third noble truth. The third noble truth is that the first noble truth is that there is suffering. The second, that there's an end to suffering. Third, I got it all wrong. That's the third noble truth. See, this is why I'm not a teacher. That's one thing you get to learn from meditation, is to laugh at yourself and not be afraid of mistakes. First noble truth is that there is suffering. Second noble truth is that suffering is caused by attachment. The attachment is kind of what I just described, in that we get an idea in our minds that we become addicted to. That's the attachment. And we think that our lives can't be right unless it is a certain way. I have to have this thing, be with this person, have this job, not have these things or these situations or these people, and if all that is set up, I can be happy. And that attachment, that clinging, that addiction is what causes our suffering. Okay, so now, third noble truth is there's an end to suffering. And I talked a little bit about that. And the fourth noble truth is the end of suffering is the Eightfold Noble Path, which is right view, right intention, right action, right speech, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. There is not any literature describing to us what is right view and what is right action and what is right livelihood. The Buddha left us to figure that out ourselves. We have to go into our lives and figure out how to live with wisdom and compassion, and bring wisdom and compassion to our actions, to our view, our livelihood, our speech, and everything we do. And we don't always make it, do we? But we try. Like I said, we try. So it really is kind of an old-timey, super old tradition of almost like therapy or self-help, for lack of a better term. Though I would hate to compare something as deep and rich as Buddhism to self-help. But you know, for people who are new to it, don't quite kind of get what's going on, that's kind of what it's like. It's not so much that we do a bunch of worshiping, though some of us, you know, do services and chants and offer incense and stuff like that. But a lot of that is just putting good intentions into the world for other people and for ourselves and for our families, and methodologies of paying respect to ourselves and honoring ourselves, because I got to tell you, in my opinion, one of the number one causes of suffering and the number one delusions, at least in our society here in the United States in the early 21st century, is self-hate. So there's a lot of stuff we do to bring respect to ourselves, to bring honor to ourselves and each other, and to the bigger world, to reality. When we sit meditation, we want to get closer to reality. We want to get closer to the way things really are, because our teachers have taught us, and we have a lot of faith that, and some of us have seen briefly, that that real life, that reality in and of itself, is the most beautiful thing that could ever exist. And so we want to live more in reality and less in the fantasies and the stories of our minds. So that's a little bit about the basics of Buddhism. If you guys see this video and you have any comments or have any questions, I would encourage you to go look it up. That's what I did, and it was awesome. But also, if you want one of my fumbled and amateur videos describing the answer to your question, just ask me, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. Maybe you're curious about what are the differences between the different schools, or what kind of practices we do, or maybe you want to know about chanting or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea where your mind is at about this, and that's a beautiful thing to not know. It's a beautiful thing to not know and not to presume what you think or what you know. So if you're curious, engage me, ask me, put in the comments down there if you have a question, and I'll make another video and we'll talk about it. It'll be fun. So anyways, that's a little bit of an introduction to Buddhism for all of my Christian and non-Buddhist practitioner friends who might be interested. I guess that's all I've got with that one. If you've got any questions, let me know. If not, keep on watching. I'm going to put a bunch more videos up. I think I'm getting ready to do one on water here pretty soon. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. But anyways, it was great to talk to you. It's great to share this pilgrimage with you. And thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate you. This is Zen Viking, rocking out.